this is Angela, the Adult Services Coordinator at the Bridgeport Public Library in Bridgeport, West Virginia. Welcome back to our BookTube channel. So we've already done a couple TBR lists for September and October, and our November one will be coming out later this month. However, this video is just another it's branching out into some additional BookTube content. So to do that, I thought it would be great to make an introduction video and take part in the BookTube Newbie Tag. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? And so this channel was started to promote the Bridgeport Public Library, but as this is a YouTube video, it's searchable for everyone, so I thought it would be great if this channel also just sort of went into library use and how a library can benefit you as a BookTube fan. I noticed that the discourse in BookTube, just overall, it's mostly like, oh, here's a whole bunch of books that I bought from my own personal collection. But if you're not able to develop your own personal reading collection, whether it's because of space or money or whatever, the library has your back with a free library card, which is the case for most libraries, including the Bridgeport Public Library. You can use that card to check out anything in the library, basically. So the books, the movies, CDs, you can attend the classes that we offer, go to some of our events. There's all sorts of things that are here at the library for you. The library is a very welcome and accessible place for a lot of people, and we hope to keep it that way. And next, what are you most excited for about starting this channel? And I think I'm just really excited to share my professional love of libraries with all of you. Like, again, as I've already said in the past 2 points, libraries are a great place to come and discover new things. And I think this BookTube channel will be great to kind of help you along the way. And the fourth question is, why do you love reading? And there really isn't a simple answer to why I love reading. Reading is just a great activity to do by myself, but as well as in a group and in social settings. And I think that's great about, just another thing that's really good about libraries is you can come to the library. Here at the Bridgeport Public Library, we have so much seating space. So you can grab a book, sit down, read, and you're in the company of other people who enjoy reading as well. And then if you want to take it one step further, we also have book clubs. So attending a book club is really great because now that you've read a book, you can come in and have a conversation with other people who have read the book and then just, get a new perspective on it. And the next question is, what book or series got you into reading? So for me personally, the book that got me into reading was the series, the Magic Tree House books by Mary Osborne. I really loved those because in addition to the fictional episodic story, every book was based on a different point in history, and so there was all sorts of historical facts that were just kind of thrown in there in the book, and I really liked that because when I was a kid, even though I really liked fantasy and fiction and all of that, I was also really drawn to nonfiction. So it was just kind of like a great blending of both fun and learning. It was great. And then from there, the other two, the series, I guess 2 more series that I have that really developed who I am as a reader were Alvin Schwartz and Stephen Gammell's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and then basically everything that Edward Gorey ever did. Those 2 series in particular really shaped who I am because I'm a huge fan of graphic novels, and even though in both cases of Edward Gorey's stuff and the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series, they were illustrated books, the illustrations kind of in a way, a really roundabout way, kind of led me down the path to discovering graphic novels. So I'm really grateful for that. The next, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? And I just have one simple one, and that is, have you been to your local library lately? And what challenges do you think that starting this BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And I'd say content creation, probably. However, because the Bridgeport Public Library always has new and exciting things that are upcoming and ongoing, there's always going to be something to talk about. I know one interest I have in starting this BookTube channel was to kind of show some behind the scenes things about what makes a library run for the patrons and what makes it efficient, and just kind of what we do in our day-to-day lives. So the next question is, when did you start reading? And for me, I started reading young. The Magic Treehouse books were like my first like real independent reading sort of process. But then I did have a reading slump around 2nd or 3rd grade, and then I picked it back up in the 4th grade, and then I never really stopped, especially when I was able to start going to my public library by myself. That was a game changer for me. So the next question is, where do you read? And the simple answer is everywhere. I like to have books with me no matter where I go. So usually I like to keep a physical book, so like on my lunch breaks I'll pull out my book and I'll read it. But if I can't have a physical book with me for whatever reason, I do have the Bridgeport Public Library mobile app downloaded on my phone. So I can go through Hoopla and Libby and see if I can find something. That way I'm never without a book. And then I like to check out books from the library all of the time. So I have a huge stack of books at my desk at home. Way too many than you can really read in a 2-week basis, but here we are. It's what I live with. And then what I'll do from there is divvy out my books in different rooms. So like I'll have my graphic novels at the kitchen, I'll have some fantasy books by my bed, I'll put nonfiction in another room. So that way there's always something, but it's never the same something. So that way I'm not going into every room encountering a different fantasy book and wondering which fantasy world I'm in. I also used to listen to audiobooks in the car, but I did stop because the last one that I listened to was the Witcher audiobook, which is really great. The narration to those are fantastic and I definitely recommend them, but they're very intense. So every time I got into my car, it's like I had to ready up for battle against giant monsters, and then I decided that maybe I'll save all of that for when I'm just sitting on the couch and not driving. So I don't do that anymore, but hey, that's an option. I know a lot of people love doing that. And next question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And then again, personally, I will read anything that's like anything I find, especially if it's recommended to me, because if you recommend it to me enough times, it gets stuck in my head, and then that's all I can think about, and it's like, I've got to read that book because like 5 people told me I should. But I do have mainstays. So again, graphic novels, yay, love them. I like horror books, let's see, literary fiction, fantasy, mythology is a big thing for me, and then history, but more like ancient history. I'm starting to delve into different genres that I normally wouldn't read, so like science fiction, mystery, and then history of like the past 100 years. But yeah, I will read anything. And then the last question is, what does your book collection look like? And we're not going to take a look at my book collection because nobody wants to see that. So let's go to the library and have a little tour. That's it for this BookTube video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our little trip around the library, and I'll catch you in the next one.